Welcome back, y'all. This is cothrumcreations, and we are back with another video. We're going to make some LED lamps. Now, you're going to need a few things. One, you're going to need an acrylic blank, which is basically just a plastic square. Or they have round ones or different shapes or whatever. This one is cloudy because I still have the film on it. You will need a base. They come in different colors. This one's black, but they also come in white and a kind of a wood color. They actually do offer ones that are actual wood, but I'm not sure if these particular blanks will fit in them. I'm going to say they probably won't. And you're going to need a mat. This one actually goes to the Brother Scan and Cut, which is what we will be using today. You can supposedly, because we're going to etch the design in here, you can use a Cricut. I didn't have much luck with that. I tried it about 3 separate times, and I think it was probably user error, but I didn't have the best luck with it, and I didn't like the results that I got. So I found an alternative. I have a Brother Scan and Cut, and this is what I use. It is a direct replacement for your actual blade holder. It fits right down in there, and you lock it into place just like you would your regular blade holder. It actually comes with extra tips. You have a fine point and you have a blunt. This one is just the regular. I haven't used these other ones because I haven't really needed to. You will need something to stick it to the mat because you definitely don't want this moving. If it moves, then, well, you get, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you get spots in your mat where it just rubs it right off, or rubs the tack off. I will suggest you get a mat that's probably about gone. It's probably close to being ready to just being tossed. I would use that because of accidents happening. You know, since you're using something to stick it down, they sometimes that stuff lifts up when you're trying to clean it. So I would suggest that. It's not necessary. I know you can clean the sticky stuff off and retack it. So, you know, if you don't want to worry about it, don't worry about it. Most of it will be taking place on the computer with the design, and then you use your scan and cut as well. Now, also, a word to the wise, the design you're using, make sure it fits in the parameters of this. That's what happened to this, is I thought it fit, it didn't. So sometimes, you know, design is important to what you're trying to do. If you're wanting to do a real picture, that's probably not going to work on here using this particular method unless you can transfer that picture into an SVG and make it work properly for you. That's something you'll have to play around with. I haven't messed with that one yet. So, let's get started. Let's stick it to the mat and we'll do the first process. First things first, you want to take off one layer. Then, what I do is I just take my little crafter's tape here and I just put some pieces on there, enough to stick it real good. It doesn't really matter where you place it on the mat. You don't want to get it real close to the corner, so I just kind of try to line it up along the lines and just stick real good. Now, another thing is if you're going to be using these kind of machines, whether it's the Cricut or the Scan and Cut, you cannot use these acrylic blanks if they are over 3 millimeters. They will not fit under the rollers. So this one is actually 2 millimeters, and all of the stuff I'm using I will make sure to put down in the description with links. I am actually using affiliate links now. I just started doing that, so if y'all go to any of those and purchase anything, it actually does help me out, which helps contribute to this channel. So I appreciate if anybody does that. Okay. Now, we got this stuck. You can put painter's tape on this if you want, but if you really, I don't think this one's going anywhere. I have it stuck pretty good. Okay, so let me get the camera set up over at the machine, and then we'll get to that part. Okay, we're back in the machine. Now I'm just going to hold the camera, so I apologize if it's a little shaky, but I already have my mat loaded, and what we're going to do is we are going to hit scan. Now you hit scan, and we don't want it, we're not cutting anything, so we're just going to have it sent to the cloud. We're going to start. Now it's going to run through the machine, and it's going to scan the image. And what it's doing is just doing basically the shape on there. It will recognize that. Make sure you have enough space to scan. Okay, that part's done. Now it's going to transfer the file over to Scan and Cut Canvas, and we will pick up there. Okay, so we are on the Brother Canvas workspace. On this particular program I'm using to show you, it won't actually record drop-down menus, but I will tell you what I'm doing. Okay, first things first is you will see your, basically you'll see your mat on there. So what we want to do is we want to go over to File, and we want to import from our cutting machine, and we want to import the scanned image, and that will process, and then we will have our scanned image. Now, if you are using the online version of Canvas Workspace, this won't work. You have to use the desktop version because it actually has the file, the edit, layer, display, all of that stuff at the top of the screen, where it doesn't have that on the online version. So there's the image, and you can see that it's totally off center, but that's okay, that really doesn't matter. But we want to lock this. We don't want it to move. So we will go to Layer, and we're going to lock that image. Okay, so now what do we need next? We want a design, and what we're going to do is we want to be able to size that design down to that square. So let's go find a design. I already have one in mind, so let's head over to the SVG button. I want to go to my documents, or wherever you have your stuff stored, and find your design. I'm actually going to do a dream catcher, and I think it's this one. And go to the SVG. Yeah, and we're going to open that. Yes, this is the one I want. Okay, I'm going to enlarge this a little bit so you can really see. Okay, it's all in there. Now you're going to have to size this properly. You definitely want to make sure you have enough space around so you're not going off the mat. So size it how you want it. And you don't want it to go down in this area here, because this area goes down actually into the base, and you're not going to see this anyway. So, you know, there's no point in etching down there, or engraving, whatever you want to call it. I'm not exactly sure what the difference is. So we want it as centered as possible, and you'll have to probably just eyeball it. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and go from there. Okay, I think we're good. Now, what you want to do is take this drawing, or take this design, and you want to turn that into a draw and not a cut. So let's go, you hit, there's an option up here, it's operation, and you can choose between draw or cut. We have it as draw. Now, if you go over to the little paintbrush up here, we want the options to make sure everything is filled in that needs to be filled, because everywhere it's black, that's where it's going to be etching. So you want to make sure it's filled in the correct spots. There are a couple of designs I had an issue with before, where it was, when it come to wording, it wanted to fill in like on a B, it wanted to fill in the inside of the B, but not the actual letter. And I'm still working on how to fix that particular part, but I'll get back to you whenever I do. This part looks to be fine. It seems to be filling everything. Okay, so next step. Now we will go back to File, and we want to export this. So you export or transfer the FCM file, which is the Brother Scan and Cut file format. And it's going to tell you to the settings are locked and stuff like that. Don't worry about that. You hit OK. And it's going to tell you to export it. I have internet on mine. If you don't have internet, that's okay. Just transfer it to a USB, and then you can transfer it to your machine that way. But I'm going to send mine over via the internet. Now it's going to tell me that the machine is ready to download the transferred file. Like I said, you're not going to see these pop-ups because this particular recording software doesn't show the different layers of the program. It only shows what's on the screen right now. But that's okay. That's why I'm explaining it as well, or as I am. I'm not trying to talk to you like you're 4. So let's go over to the machine. Okay. We just transferred the file from the computer over to the machine. So now we put in our little etcher and we lock that into place. And then we go up to pattern. And then we want to get that pattern. It's going to retrieve it from the cloud. And there it is. It looks like everything's good. We're going to hit OK. We're going to draw this. It's going to take a few seconds to process. And then it's going to tell us how long it's going to take to do all this. I won't show the actual whole process of it because it could take 20 to 30 minutes. Oh, we're in luck, it takes 9 minutes, but I'm not going to make you wait 9 minutes. So I will be back whenever this is done, and then we'll check out the progress. On a quick note, when you hit start to start the drawing part, it will tell you to attach the appropriate holder. Don't worry about that. Just hit OK, and it will bypass it. Then you can hit start. It'll go down, and it'll start. You won't be able to really see it, so we'll be back. Okay, it's done. It was 9 minutes for me, but for you, definitely not 9 minutes. We're going to take this off the mat here. Ooh, make a lot of noise in the process. And, we're going to take this lint brush. We're just going to get all this little bits of plastic out. I'm actually very happy with the results. It came out nice. I actually probably could have gone a little bit bigger, but then again, I don't think so because it is actually a little bit taller of a design, not necessarily wider. You don't have to worry about this because you peel off this back piece. It's gone. So, I don't know if you can see the design real well. That's actually coming off. It'll clean. It's just wiping right off. It looks it's like sticky. But I like it. I think it came out really, really well, especially considering it's, just, this is a tool that's not designed for this machine. Well, it's designed, but not by the manufacturer. It's not designed by the manufacturer to work in the machine. I like the results better out of the Brother machine than I do the Cricut. Like I said, it may have just been user error on the Cricut, but I think it come out very well. And I'm very happy with the results. And then we're going to move this out of the way here. There, you might be able to see the design a little bit better that way. And basically you put your little thing like this, and it just sits up there like this. And you have your, you can plug it in, or I don't have batteries in this one right now, but otherwise I would turn it on. Or you can plug it in, or you can turn it on with batteries. There's a plug right there. So, and then of course it comes with a remote where you can change the colors and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, a few things. One, make sure your design works. You want to make sure when it says draw that everything that you want to be filled in is filled in, and everything you don't want to be filled in is not going to be filled in. You really have to look. You can zoom in really good on the machine. That's the only way you can see it, unfortunately. I'm not sure how to do it on the... You used to be able to look at the line drawing on the actual program, but I think they took that out. I haven't been able to find it since they've updated the new software. Unfortunately, the only way I have found is if you mess this blank up, the only way to fix it is to sand it. And you have to start with a high enough grit to remove this, and then you have to work your way down. And hopefully you can get to the point where it's super glossy like this again, which if you don't have the patience for that, yeah, you're just gonna, you know, so be mindful of that. Mistakes are gonna happen. So be prepared for that. These are not super duper expensive, but they're not like a penny a piece either. So, but you will be happy with the results. My next video, I think I'm going to do, my sublimation stuff all came in. So I think I'm actually going to try my hand at that. Maybe I'll start recording some of that, because that's probably going to take a little bit of time to get all that done. But I would appreciate it in between there if you hit like. Don't like it if you don't like the video, that's fine. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. Anything you do actually helps me out. If you're interested in any of the products that I'm using here, again, I will leave everything down in the description. And it does help me out if you decide to buy it. So, until next time, bye y'all.